Although many people believe in the healing and medical capabilities of the cannabis plant as a whole, THC included, for the purposes of this show, we are exploring CBD specifically, the non-psychoactive component found in the plant.
Hemp and cannabis or marijuana all come from the same family of plant. It's L. cannabis sativa. Cannabis and hemp are in the same family. Marijuana, or cannabis, as you might say, would have a good amount of THC, which is just one of these cannabinoids that is found, and it's the psychoactive ingredient. That's what gets you high. Hemp doesn't carry very much, if any, THC, but it's loaded in many cases with CBD, which is another cannabinoid that's shown significant therapeutic use, and it's being studied around the world at various research centers for its therapeutic activities.
There's a lot of academic journals right now that are studying the effects of CBD, and they seem to suggest that it treats epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, and has a lot of other health benefits as well. It can even counteract the psychoactive effects of THC, that anxiety effect that THC may cause. CBD can counteract that.
Cannabidiol, or in short, CBD, alone is drawing a lot of attention right now among scientists, health professionals, and even just ordinary people who are looking for a new way to get well or to just enrich their everyday lives.
CBD is very similar to THC molecularly. It has the same chemical formula, but it has a different shape and space, which allows it to bind to different receptors in the brain and throughout the peripheral nervous system. So while THC and CBD are similar molecularly, they actually have different targets in the body, and which is why THC will get you high and CBD will not get you high.
One Southern California company that is exploring this CBD-rich hemp industry quite extensively is Medical Marijuana Inc. They have a whole array of products that some people are saying are highly beneficial.
Well, Medical Marijuana Inc. started back in March of 2009 as a public company. It was the first publicly traded company in the cannabis marijuana space, something that was a new idea and concept.
Although the name may be a bit misleading, they are now a company that primarily partners with other companies and even creates their own product lines that specifically specialize in CBD-rich hemp oil products.
Definitely focus strictly on hemp, or at least to my involvement, that's what we are for the time being until legislation potentially might change. But the hemp product being legal to import here into the U.S. is where we have put our focus and attention, and developing products with a high concentration of CBD has been something that's been a lengthy, several-year process. We had to contract with farmers around the world to grow hemp. We can't really grow it here locally in our backyards, unfortunately. So that's, one hurdle. And then to be able to harvest the hemp and then process it to where you get the extractions of the CBD is another step.
On a daily basis, I come into the lab and purify out hemp oil for its CBD content. So we have a variety of different levels of CBD that we attain, from 20% all the way up to pharmaceutical grade CBD. And then we also test that CBD levels to ensure proper dosages and to make sure that the oil that we provide doesn't have any harmful pathogens or something that could harm someone with a compromised immune system.
As for their CBD-rich products they offer,
it starts with canned chew gum line. It's about 10 milligrams per dose. We have Sibdex capsules that are 25 milligrams of CBD per dose. We have droppers that are between 100 and 500 milligrams per bottle. And then we have our RSHO Blue, which can have thousands of milligrams in a tube.
Speaking of RSHO, or the Real Scientific Hemp Oil, that is the company's product with the strongest concentration of CBD inside.
Real Scientific Hemp Oil is another product that the company has come up with. It's very strong in terms of concentration of CBD. So someone who wants to experiment with a high dose, see how that would do for them. Certain people have said it's been very beneficial for a range of conditions.
And And as to why their stronger version of the oil is different from many other oils being sold across the country.
Our products come from hemp, contain high concentration of CBD. These other products are from marijuana, contain a very high concentration of THC.
Without being misleading and for the sake of full disclosure, this company doesn't make any claims about curing cancers or any other diseases for that matter. They do, however, say that their hemp products have some of the highest CBD concentrations in the marketplace and can be used for a whole range of applications.
The nutraceutical applications, which don't require all the rigorous study and things that the FDA does for a new drug application, but still these natural botanical substances can be utilized by the general population in these supplements or other vitamins or compounds of that ilk, and certainly something that the general population would be able to take advantage of.
And you should also know that the specific patients chronicling their journey to health in this show are, in fact, also using this company's CBD-rich products. Desperate to save their own lives and the lives of their children, these are the home videos of patients with cancers and epilepsy choosing to use cannabidiol, or CBD, a component found in medicinal cannabis. Not only does the CBD have zero psychoactive effects, but each patient has seen some signs of improvement with their varying diseases.
Her MRI results came back that the tumor has not grown at all. So it's either stable or possibly has shrunk a very minute amount that's not really recognizable from first glance of the scan. But her lumbar puncture came back with no cancer, and we were re-advised that this tumor might stay in her brain forever. And because it can't be removed due to its location, there's no way to verify that all of the cancer cells within that tumor are dead or dying. So Dahlia's gonna have to be monitored for the rest of her life. And with that said, a product like this is really beneficial to my own sanity because it's something that I can give her forever. So right now we're just ecstatic that it hasn't grown. Excited to see the possibility of her body beginning to heal its own self from so many surgeries and hospitalizations and scars and this cancer itself, and then the treatment, and really hoping that the long-term effects of this product are as good as the short-term effects have been.
We are still feeling good about Anaya's progress. She's still continuing to do the things that she has learned to do, and in fact, she's even mastering her ability to control her hands, or her grasp is getting better. So that is something, might not be a big thing, but to us it's very important, because we would like for her to eventually just, be able to grab something and put it in her mouth, like a sippy cup or a glass of water or a glass of milk. And it's slow, but to us that is progress.
Despite Anaya's progress with being able to grasp things more easily, one side effect that Anaya's mother has noticed is a rash that has recently appeared.
In the hope that tomorrow or the next couple of days, her rash in her body would decrease some more. Because we know that if there's rash, or that she is having a bad reaction to something. But at the same time, we can't cut it down abruptly because we know it's going to increase her seizures.
I'm several months into treatment, but I think it's important to remember where I've come from and how far I've advanced from my initial symptoms. I know you all didn't see me in the beginning. I could not have had a conversation with you. I actually couldn't speak at all. I actually had to bark because the tumors were pressing on my vocal cords. I'm sorry. Here at the holidays, it gets very emotional. And you're just very grateful to be able to appreciate your family and do the things like making cookies. Where I was going with this was I had a less than 5% chance, is what I was told, to live a year. Well, we're going on 7 or 8 months now. And I think I might make it 3 or 5 more months. So everybody goes, oh, don't say that, but it's very good for me to say that. I can do this. I've got this. But I think it's just because of your all's help. If I was even to have to give up one of the medications, CBD would not be the one I give up. And that's saying a lot.
So where is cannabis research and hemp usage heading in the future? Well, despite cannabis's label of having no accepted medical uses, many researchers around the world and many companies out there like Medical Marijuana Inc. and their subsidiaries are looking to see if there is indeed medicinal, nutraceutical, or even many other uses for these cannabinoid-rich products. Why, you may ask? Well, due to our body's very own endocannabinoid system.
The endocannabinoid system exists in every human and mammals, and that consists of many endocannabinoids, such as anandamide, that are naturally produced by the body. THC and CBD, they bind to those natural endocannabinoid receptors, the CB1, CB2, CB3, and CB4.
Bodies are built to receive cannabinoids, their endocannabinoid system. Your mother's breast milk contains endocannabinoids.
In the simplest terms, like a nervous system or pulmonary system, the latest discovery in this growing field is that we too have an endocannabinoid system that binds with cannabis on a molecular level and affects and regulates everything in our body, keeping it in balance and healthy. Therefore, if you are cannabinoid deficient or not getting enough cannabinoids, this could be one of the many reasons you're suffering from an ailment.
Dr. Melamede from Cannabis Science out of Colorado Springs, I think he was the first one to kind of coin the term cannabinoid deficiency syndrome. And I think that as we become more aware of this and actually potentially prove it out, that will be where this CBD is really going. Over time, it's potential that some of these pharmaceutical medications can actually come to the market, and these products will be available to a much larger range of patients. But nonetheless, just the growing awareness that there are nutraceutical products that can potentially give me my daily requirements of cannabinoids or CBD is something that I think is fantastic and can really help a lot of people.
Obviously, there is still plenty of research to do on this subject, and we'll learn more as the science becomes available. Until then, we may just have to rely on the anecdotal personal stories of the thousands of people already using CBD in their everyday lives.
There's a lot of misconceptions, but I think once the general populace can capture this notion of the endocannabinoid system, that our bodies, or any mammalian, fish, dogs, cats have these receptors for cannabinoids in our bodies. And not every cannabinoid is THC that gets you high and blows you off the planet. That there are many very beneficial things that we're just scratching the surface on these other cannabinoids.
As for Medical Marijuana Inc.'s hopes and goals going forward,
my team's purpose for the health benefits is really to educate people, to educate themselves through research. And they can determine themselves, is this going to work for me?
Where I'm very excited is in the biotechnology field, the ability to make actually, pharmaceutical medications that meet the rigorous standards of the FDA, to actually have these products available for people with serious medical conditions, and hopefully they'll prove to be not only safe but also efficacious.
in the future, aside from the potential medical and nutraceutical applications of CBD-rich hemp products, some experts are saying that the hemp version of the cannabis in general could revolutionize other industries out there as well.
The potential for all the different products that can come from this market, you just have to think this is the next great growth industry in America. Industrial hemp has the ability to potentially transform the entire economy, make everything sustainable, renewable. Hemp bioplastics that actually degrade, where it's good to be wasteful. Sometimes it'd be absolutely phenomenal. Growing a hemp crop, you're able to remineralize or bring nutrients back to the soil. So looking at that alone, there's just huge potential. I think the great fortunes haven't even been close to being made in the growth of this industry.
Right now, it's about a $500 million industry in the United States. We import 99% of, or 100% of all the hemp products, raw materials, textiles, oils into the United States. So we believe that once we start growing hemp here in the United States, within the next 2 years, it's going to be $1 billion crop.
So far, we have heard the personal stories of patients taking CBD, a chemical compound found in medical cannabis. Nearly a year later, here is their update.
When they put the scan up of my brain or of my body, there's no tumors visible. And that is amazing, unbelievable. I mean, you're talking about tumors that were the size of probably apples, all the way down to, the size of your thumb, the tip of your thumb, multiple ones, all clear. You can't even see, they're not even a pinpoint.
Her neuropathy seems to be completely healed. Her brain damage seems to have repaired itself, which is something CBD is known to do. But we have seen pretty tremendous results since Dahlia's been on CBD with tumor shrinkage. So while we're not exactly where we hope to be at the end of this, a year later, I'm very hopeful, much more so than I would have been even a few months ago. Each time we've gone in for a scan since she's been on this oil, there's been significant shrinkage, especially in comparison to what we originally saw, as well as what the doctors predicted.
For the first part, I did see a lot of improvement because she was able to, do a whole lot. However, by February, she started getting sick. We had to, look at things, and her seizures started increasing. The illness, maybe it was some drug interaction. So by first week of March, we decided to discontinue the use of the oil. As weeks continued, she wasn't sick anymore, and she was off the oil, but still the seizures were increased. She was having about 5 to 6 a day of the grand mouse. And so we decided that now we, looking back, she actually did good on the combination of the diet and the oil. Given the chance financially, if we can handle it, we'll try to restart using it. Yeah, it's just sad to think about it. I'm sorry. would like to. Financially, we're also drained. I'm sorry. And so I'm hoping that, we can get to a point where we could get to where she was before.
I think that everybody needs to be educated on the CBD. Lack of education, I think, is where the judgments come in of, well, it shouldn't be used. But until somebody actually tries it, actually takes that step, and has faith that this will help them, once they try it, they're going to understand, and they'll want to turn around and help somebody else. And that's the key, is for everybody just to understand, whether it's cancer or some other type of a disease, there's so many medical aspects. It is the future.
I'm almost embarrassed to admit that prior to my daughter's critical situation, I would never have considered cannabis as medicine. I was uneducated and I was unaware and I was ignorant, and it wasn't my fault. It's what we've been raised to believe, is that this is a drug with no medicinal benefits. And that's my greatest regret, is that this was a last resort for me, not a first resort. This has been known for decades, even by the American government. That's why they patented it 2 decades ago. As a neuroprotectant and antioxidant, that's why they granted GW Pharmaceuticals the patent for gliomas. My daughter has a high-grade glioma. This should have been made available and known to me at the beginning of her treatment. Not something that I should have had to spend thousands of hours researching, fighting with doctors who aren't aware or educated, and pushing out politicians who are not physicians but are making choices in the decisions of our children's health care.
I'm glad that we were given the chance to try this oil, and that we with that little time that we had, we saw some improvement. And so I hope that the government will have, look into this more so that they can see how much we need it, and so that they can include it as far as like coverage for insurance, and then we can have better access to the oil. Children with, or anybody with epilepsy, can live a better life, better quality of life.